I want to welcome y'all back. I got the pipes done. And what we're going to do today, this will be the last session that we'll do. These are the pipes. Everything's done on the pipe. And there's a couple things I always do when I build a set of pipes. You really want to make sure that everything dimensionally is right between the two pipes. So a good test, and even though the pipes work on pressure waves, when you thump the pipe, if you hang on to it at the bottom of the cone down here and you just thump it right here, you'll hear it ring. And if the pipe is made right, it'll ring good. You can just like a bell. And you go to the next pipe and it should be the same frequency. If it's a different frequency, you know that the dimensions aren't the same, because this is going to ring the same if the pipes are exactly the same. I've built dyno pipes where one was just a little bit off. This one's just a little flat. You can hear it just a little bit flat on the pitch. Get to this one will be just a little bit higher. See, it's just a little sharp. Well, that's so close. You're only talking maybe 25 RPM difference, maybe in the pipes. But volume-wise, they're good. They sound good, and everything went together good. Down here, I haven't got the stingers on yet. But the first thing I do is, with my mule engine here, which is what this is. This is a Polaris 600R. It's what comes out of the snowcross sleds. This is what they race in Myra on the half mile and at the Sioux. This is a half mile setup that I have in it now. That's the pipes we're trying to develop is for the half mile. And these are the Polaris factory pipes that come with the factory program. So these pipes are made in California. And I just call them the California Dreamer pipes just because that's how I keep track of them. But everything that we do in here, we really try and get a good baseline. So what I'll do, I know what these pipes will make with this motor. This is a flaggy motor. Their latest that they've, as of 2019 and 20, what they raced this last year in Myra on the half mile. So what I'll do is I'll run it on the dyno and verify the horsepower. I've already warmed it up a little bit and ran it once. So I'm going to run it here for you again. And just to give you an idea what goes on here, as you see, you got hoses. This is a cooling tower right here. This is what maintains the water temperature. I can program in the computer what water temperature I want to run at. So I do all my dyno testing at 100 to 105 degrees, just in case we got problems that, you know, in the pipe or in the design of the motor. We don't want to get any detonation problems going at all. So the carburetors, these are the 41 millimeter carburetors that come with these flaggy motors. The boxes, I don't know exactly offhand what program it is, but it's what you can buy from Polaris if you want to race in the Myra or at the Sioux. So let's get it going here, and you can get an idea what it's like to run it on the dyno. This is the control room. I run everything from in here. Everything is run program-wise through here. What I end up doing usually is warming up the engine and getting it up to a certain water temperature. You already got 80 degrees in here. And then I look at different things. You got the brake-specific fuel consumption. Those of you who are racers know what fuel flow needs to be to keep everything safe. And also on these engines, you have a timing box from Snowcross. And I run it on D. That's the 0 time, and then C is 1 degree advanced, B is 2 degree advanced, and A is 3 degrees advanced over the standard curve. And that just shifts the whole curve. It doesn't add timing. The whole curve is shifted just like you were to rotate the stator. That's what that does. So I'm running 114 octane Sunoco fuel, and it's blended. It's the 116 and the 112 blended together, and I run Redline fuel 32 to 1. That's what we burn for all of our test stuff here. So let's start it up, and it's a little bit of a a little bit of a contraption thing. I end up running around a lot getting everything right. So we'll just get it going here and you can see how everything goes. Right here manually, and when I warm it up, I'm bringing it under load. Once I've warmed it up under load, I turn it over to the computer, and it starts at an RPM and makes a sweep up to give you the power at different RPM. So I'll warm the engine up under load. And that's pretty much how it goes. You warm it up. I had to come back out here and open the water up here. I forgot to turn the water on here, so the dyno ran out of water. But it's a water break. And the computer, there's a servo on the bottom of that blue thing out there that holds that engine at whatever RPM you want to hold it to. And once it's warmed up, like I started at 8,000 and make a run up to 9,400, that's where I sweep it once everything is run. And then we can look on the computer and see what we got here. So let's see what that run was. This is a fully heat-soaked motor. And the other thing I need to tell you is that we go through a whole process to correct everything to standard atmosphere. So I don't know how many of you use a rad gauge. That's what this is right here. So in the dyno, I'll put the rad gauge out, and we correct everything that we do to 2992 standard barometric pressure, 60 degrees, and 50% relative humidity. So that in the summertime when you do stuff, or in the wintertime when it's really cold, the computer corrects everything back and forth to give you a corrected horsepower. So that's what this computer does. I put in all the stuff in the computer as far as barometric pressure and vapor pressure and relative humidity and the temperature, and it corrects it for atmosphere. So this is corrected horsepower. You can see at 8,300 it makes 119 corrected horsepower. At 9,200 it's 145 horse. And then the maximum torque is right here at 9,100. So this will give you an idea just really what that looks like. This is kind of a cross-sectional view. Let me change some things here. So that we're not looking at the... So this is the power right here. Where it started recording was at 8300, where I set the computer, and it makes its pull all the way up through here, and peak power is right here, and it shows at 144.7 and on up to 144.8. So right in here is maximum power between 91 and 9200, and that's what we see right here. This is the fuel flow. I don't know how many of you know what brake-specific fuel consumption is, but this is how much fuel in pounds. Race gas weighs 0.7 pounds per... It's a pound, a weight that you put in the computer, and this tells you how many pounds of fuel it burns per horsepower. A gallon of race gas weighs a little over 6 pounds. So it's burning 0.6 of a pound of fuel per horsepower, and this is one of the things that I use to come up with my tuning. And we're in the low 6s to mid 6s, which is pretty good. Anything under 0.6, and you're really getting into a little bit of wild territory. This is a fuel flow in pounds per hour, and this is pounds per horsepower. This is when I put in exhaust probes. It'll tell me the exhaust temperature, and I just, only thing I'm really interested in is the temperature in the middle of the pipe, the big pipe. Torque over here, and horsepower. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like on the dyno when we run it, and I'm going to put the other pipes on it. We'll run the other ones.